2 years. And what a crazy, amazing life I have had. It's crazy is really the understatement. It's been just such an amazing, a fun life. It's been a lot of work. And I know a lot of you probably think, oh, SuSan Peterson started at the beginning. I didn't start at the very beginning. Okay, the company's 45 years old this year. So I didn't start at the beginning. You might think, oh, SuSan Peterson, she started so long ago, it was so easy, and she just got, to where she is. No, that's a big no. There were a lot of hurdles that I've had to go through, a lot of things with the company over the years. It has not been an easy thing for me or for other distributors. So what's the difference? The difference is leadership. The difference is desire to get through things no matter what. The difference of making the decision no matter what comes your way, you're going to see the best in it and not focus on the challenge and not focus on the worst. So I've had a lot of ups and downs, and I still have them. I just turned 66 years old this last Friday, November 1st. And you would think by this time life would be pretty good, pretty easy. No. Still, thank you. I still have things that happen. And I told this to the group in Hanoi, and they were the first people I've ever told this to, and I'll tell you so that you don't feel like I told them something I didn't tell you, okay? But for the last 2 years, I live in Houston, Texas. And I've had this beautiful home that I live in since 2009, a beautiful home. Some of you have been to my home, it's gorgeous. And 2 years ago, I bought another house close to where my grandchildren live, okay? About a 5-minute walk, okay? So that I could spend more time with my family. But the house wasn't how I wanted it to be. It needed to have some work because it was older. And so for the last 2 years, I've been renovating that house, beautifying it, so to speak, adding my special touch, which for me is a gigantic closet for all my shoes and handbags. I am a woman that loves shoes, okay? I admit it, not a problem. Maybe it is a problem, I don't know. But I've been doing all these things in this house, and I was supposed to move in that house October 1st. Well, on September 18th, there was a fire and my house burned. The house that I've been working on for 2 years burned. I'm going to just tell you, unless you've ever experienced a fire, you really haven't experienced it. You don't understand what it's like. It's terrible. Because instantly, everything is gone. Instantly, everything is ruined, and it smells, and it's dirty. And it was really devastating. And for me to tell you it wasn't devastating would be a lie, and I'm not going to lie to you. It was terrible. But I will say this. I could sit there and I could cry, or I could take the lessons of leadership that I've learned and focus on positive things. And you say, well, what could be positive from a fire, from a home that you were so excited about moving into? Well, I'll tell you. Number one, I hadn't moved into the house yet, and I'm still alive. My animals, my cat and my dog, they're still alive. My grandchildren were not at the house. My furniture and all of my pictures of my family and my ancestors were in storage and not in that house. I still have those because I could never recover those photos because of my great-great-grandmother and my great-grandfather, and I don't have a way to find those pictures ever again. That fire did not catch to my neighbors' homes, so their homes did not burn. I could also be grateful that when the firemen came, 40 firemen 40 firemen came to put out the fire that blew out the windows to the house, and the flames are coming up. No fireman was injured. No one was hurt. I'm also so grateful that the house that I've lived in since 2009 did not sell, because I had it on the market to sell, and I only had it on the market for 20 days. And it did not sell, and I had a house to move back to. So what I'm trying to tell you is this: being a real leader is not that you can deal with life when everything is easy, but you can deal with everything, whether it's easy or it's difficult. It's how you deal with it, who you become. The story of me is not who I am today, and not who I was at the very beginning, but who I've become and how I got there, who helped me along the way. There were a lot of people ahead of me that helped me to become the person I am now. You see a lot of them on the screen. You see Mark Hughes. You see Michael Johnson. And in the very far corner picture here, do you recognize this woman here? It's Leslie Stanford.
Yeah.
I mean, I have friends, Mark, I mean, you cannot imagine how we all help each other. From John Tartle to Armitage Cone to all the people, whether we're in the same line or not, here's what we are. We are aligned. I don't know if that makes sense. We may be in different lines, different organizations, but we are aligned in our common friendship, in our common vision, and our goal to help the company and to help all the distributors around the world, no matter whose organization they're in.
Yeah.
I have learned so much over the years, great wisdom from great, great leaders. I mean, can you imagine when Michael Johnson joined the company, how hard that had to be? Here was this company that was thriving and going, that Mark Hughes, the founder, had brought to life. And now he's gone, and Michael's going to have to come in and be the head of the ship. It's unbelievable, so hard. And I'm sure there were days where he got frustrated and maybe even a little angry at some of us because we're a little hard-headed. But we do love Herbalife, and we do love him, and he loves us, and he loves Herbalife. And so we're so blessed today, all of us, to have Michael Johnson as our head of our company. And I mean, you guys do not know how lucky you are. And I will tell you that leadership is the great divider in business. It's the great divider. You either have it or you don't. If you don't have leadership, there's no time like the present to hurry up and get all of the training so that you can step into that role. Here's the very first part of the lessons of leadership. The law of the lid. Leadership's ability determines a person's level of effectiveness. Every person has the potential to become a leader. I don't care if you've got a gigantic university education or you have no education. Every single human being has the ability for leadership. But every leader has a lid. Every leader has something above them that holds them down, that keeps them from going to the next level. You're on the get team. Guess what? You've got a lid that's keeping you from going to the millionaire team. You're on the millionaire team. You've got a lid that's keeping you right now from going to the president's team. You're on the president's team. You've got a lid keeping you from coming up to the chairman's club. And yes, chairman's club, you have a lid keeping you from joining us here at the Founders Circle. Everyone has, and guess what? Susan Peterson has a lid. We all have lids. And sometimes you can lift your own lid easily. But here's what leaders never do. They never ask someone else to do it for them. Real leaders figure out how to break through it on their own. So if you want the lid that's holding you down, you want that to help you to, so that you can now go and get to the next level, you have to figure out what is holding that lid down for you and break through it on your own. No one can do it for you. You have to do it while you learn from other leaders. You know, if I want to get to the next level and I've got to break through a lid, I've got to ask myself, what's holding me down? And find someone who has already done it and ask them, what do I need to break through? Show me what I need to do. Tell me what I need to do, and I'm going to do it. So it's up to you to do that. Rise above your past. The past is just that. The past, it's over. Can we live the past? No. The past has already happened. Have you ever seen people that they just keep living in the past? I'll tell you who. We all see these celebrities, you know, these people, movie stars, or musicians, singers, whatever, and they're just singing the same old song again and again and again and again. Oh, and again. Listen, it's great to celebrate some of the things from the past, but guess what we need to do? We need to plug into the present where we are today. The past is over. You need to focus on now and the future. Focusing on your future will help you master your past. We've all got a past, okay? Some of our past is not a pretty picture, right? I mean, we all have made mistakes. We've all done things we wish we hadn't done. We can't change that, but we can learn from that. Find a mentor. This way you don't have to make important decisions alone. Never, ever, ever, never, ever make important decisions alone. It's not a sign of weakness. This is a sign of success when you can discuss decisions you need to make with your mentor, with the person who you respect and is there to help guide you. They may or may not be in Herbalife. They may be someone that is outside of Herbalife. Maybe it's someone above you, maybe not in your organization, maybe in another organization. You can ask for a mentor, but your mentor has to decide, yes, that they are willing to work with you and help you. This person will be the link to your future business success. You need to have the intelligence and the humility to consult with people that are guiding you and mentoring you. You know, one of the worst things is when you become successful. This can happen to anyone. I've seen it again and again over 42 years. People get to rise to the level of success, and then one of the three things takes over their life and destroys their business and destroys their credibility, and that is ego, pride, arrogance. Ego, pride, and arrogance. Those three things are killers. And if you have a mentor and you're humble, you stop and you ask your mentor, what do you think of this? How do you think I should handle that? Etc., etc. And you're humble enough to listen, not just hear them saying something, but actually listen to their wisdom. Influence. The true measure of leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Leadership impact increases as influence increases. When a leader has a lot of influence, much influence, much can be accomplished. When a leader places family first, future generations are blessed. I'm going to say that one more time. When a leader places family first, future generations are blessed. The higher the team level, the higher the influence. But remember, the higher the team level, the higher the influence, the higher the responsibility to do the right thing. Now, I've seen over the years people that their whole life is business. Have you met people like that? It's boring. For me, I believe in my spiritual life first, my family life next, and my herbal life next. So I have a spiritual life, a family life, an herbal life. It's worked for me very well all these years. If all I did was business, I would be the most boring person you ever spoke to in your life. I would like to think that I am funny. Maybe not. I would like to think that I'm also frustrating for people. Yes, perhaps so. But here's what I am. I am complex, and I'm a lot of things. I'm not just one thing. Please don't just be one thing. There's a process. Leadership develops daily, but not in a day. It doesn't, you cannot in one day, you go to bed. Wouldn't this be great? I would love this. If I could just go to sleep and the next day I wake up and I'm a leader. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. It's not the dream of a lifetime. It's the dream that takes a lifetime. It takes a lifetime to go through all the different segments of leadership. And by the way, even when you think you've gotten, maybe getting to the top, what you thought way back when this is where the top is, I got news for you. It's never the top. There's always more to learn. There's always more levels of leadership. There's always more depth and more compassion and more influence and more direction that we can all learn. It takes time, and Lord knows it takes trials to grow as a leader. And that's one reason we have so many leadership schools. Have you ever thought about that? The Herbalife Company has tons and tons of leadership schools. This is why you should never miss one. You hear things differently as you grow in leadership. So for example, you're hearing me speak today. Depending what level of leadership you are at, your mind is hearing it differently. I know that's kind of a weird concept, but it's true. When I go to the leadership level schools and I listen, all of a sudden, something someone says comes up to me, and I see it, I hear it differently, and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I get this now. How did I miss this? How did I miss it? I don't know. I just did. But now I'm at a different leadership level and I hear it different. That's why a little advice. You can't afford to miss a leadership school. When the company has that, you've got to figure out how to get there and to get your people there. Like all of you that qualified here today for this, what an amazing situation you're having to be able to sit through the whole leadership level and hear things and be able to take them and metabolize them and go to the next level. I cannot wait to find out months from now, maybe a year from now, how each of you grew from one or two things that you heard at the event today. Navigation. Anybody can steer the ship, but it takes a leader to chart the course. You know, in today's world, this is really true. I mean, with all this AI business, all this artificial intelligence and all this stuff, they've got self-driving, can you believe it, in the US, they have self-driving cars. They have self-driving taxis. Now, I have to tell you, Susan Peterson is never getting in a self-driving car, okay? I'm sorry. Houston, Texas is the craziest, most insane driving conditions. You think it's crazy here, you know, with your 8 million motorcycles and all of that? Let me tell you, imagine there's not 8 million motorcycles, but there's 8 million big trucks. Okay, people are crazy, insane in Houston. I mean, no way I'm getting in a self-driving car. But the thing that I'm saying here is that only a leader has the ability to look at everything, the weather, the where we want to end up, all the different things going on, the good, the bad, etc., etc. Only a leader has that ability to look at that and chart the course that will actually get you there. Maybe there's, you know, some things going on and you're like, oh no, we don't want to be involved with this, let's go this way. Only a leader can figure that out. Before a leader takes any of their people, any of their team on a journey, they first become navigators, knowing how they're going to get their team from point A to point B through the smooth and the rough waters, because there's always going to be both. I wish I could tell you, you know, oh, you just choose the easy path, the smooth path. It's never that way. You have to go through the rough waters too, not just the easy ones. You know, how do you become a navigator? You draw on past experiences. You examine all the conditions in front of you, and before you make any kind of a commitment, you listen to what other people are saying, and you make sure that when you make your decision is based off reality and facts and not gossip. Because there's lots of gossip. Can I just say that again? There's a lot of gossip. Here's the one thing I don't like. I mean, this is not on the presentation, but I just tell you, I hate gossip. When I hear, and sadly, you know, around the world, I've got different people that they just thrive on gossip. I don't understand that, because it's just such a negative thing. Let's all concentrate on lifting each other up and not bringing anyone down. Let's concentrate on being our best and helping everyone and not being involved in gossip. Next, the right to be heard. When a true leader speaks, people listen. Leaders earn the right to be heard. You don't say, I'm a leader, you listen to me. You're a leader, and your character makes people want to listen to you. You have to be credible. You have to have credibility. How do you do that? Number one, you have to live your message. You know, I mean, what kind of a leader would be talking to you about success and stuff in the Herbalife world if they weren't living their message? It'd be weird. It'd be just totally weird. So you need to live your message. Don't ask other people to do what you're not doing. Have you ever seen people that got a team member, they've got a team, and the leader of the team says, do what I say, not what I do? That doesn't go over very good. I've always found it's much easier to say to people, here's what I'm doing, come with me. Here's what I'm doing, come with me. Let me show you. It must be apparent in your words and in how you live. Not just what you say, but how you live. And you have to have ownership of your message as well. You need a stake in the game. There needs to be a real reason for you to help and be involved in all of it. solid ground. Trust is the foundation of leadership. Trust is formed by the leader's character and the leader's credibility. There's always sign when a leader is not on a solid ground. The credibility is lost. And if you are a leader and you have lost credibility, let me tell you this, it is super hard to get that back. You have to do twice as much stuff to prove that you're credible and you have integrity. It's very difficult. One of the most critical leadership laws is this: having credibility and having everyone know that you are integrous. Because once that happens, if you have damage, it's tough. It's really tough. I just will tell you, better to just not have a problem there. Respect. People naturally follow leaders that are stronger than themselves. Have you noticed that? That goes all the way back to like the Stone Age. There was a Stone Age man, and he had a club, and he was strong, and he would fend off all the wild animals, and he would keep the other warring people away. He was the strong guy. He was the leader of the band of people. He was the strong man. And there was always a strong woman. She was the woman who knew everything about how to take care of the family. She knew how to do all the stuff with the skinning the deer or whatever kind of food and preparing and all this. I mean, these are leaders. These are leaders. There's always been that type of person. Since the beginning of time. How many people follow you? I don't mean on Instagram. I don't mean on Facebook. And I don't mean on TikTok. Because none of that stuff is real. Somebody says, oh, I'm following them. Oh, really? Do you have a relationship with them? Do you know anything about their family? Do you know who they are and what happened and how they live and what they've had to go through as a person? If you don't know, then you don't have a relationship with them, so they can follow you, but they're not really a part of you and your world. When a leader gains respect, leading becomes a lot easier. But I'm going to tell you, this is a relationship business. This is not a exchange of money business. This is not a social media, how many followers and whatnot can I have to make myself feel good business. This is a business of people affecting people. People helping people. People affecting communities and helping communities. For example, we have the CASAs. And I've got to say, I'm just going to give you guys a little shout out. Here in Vietnam, you have more CASAs than any other place. 15. You added 5 additional ones this year for your 15th anniversary. Congratulations on that. But I will just tell you, in order to have respect, you have to give respect. It just doesn't just appear at your feet. And so, truly, when you have a relationship with people where you can help them and you can help your community, that's where that comes from. Next, intuition. Leaders evaluate everything with a leadership bias. What does she mean? Who you are is what you see. In other words, I know who I am. I know how I grew up. I grew up not in a very fancy, elaborate kind of lifestyle. My mother was a teacher. My dad was a chemist. I worked my way as a construction worker. Can you believe that? To pay for college? My parents did not have the money to send me to university, and in America, university is very expensive, even the public university. So I was a pipe fitter's helper on the ship channel in Houston, where all the gasoline is made and all the oil comes in, and it's hot like this every single day, and it rains every single day, and you're outside and you work 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. That is how I paid for school. And I know that there's some people that would say, well, that's not very glamorous. You're right. But guess what it did? It taught me the value of hard work and the feeling of decency and the respect for myself, for working hard to accomplish goals and get there. And then when it came time after college and after some things, and I wanted to do the Herbalife business, there was no amount of hard work I was going to be afraid of, because I've already done hard work. Was hard work hard? Sure. But did I do it? Yes. Did I get through it? Yes. Was I better for it? Yes. But here's what I will tell you. When it came to Herbalife, I was not afraid. And so when I say that you hear these things and that you see and hear things with your own bias, my bias is who I was and who I am, saw things that there was nothing I couldn't do with hard work. So working on personal development is something that was new for me. I'd never even heard of personal development until I got involved with Herbalife. And so I was like, what is that? You know, I was like, oh, this is weird. And I thought, well, this is something I don't need. If you think you don't need personal development, you are the person that needs it the most. I didn't think I needed it because I just hard work. Well, guess what? I needed personal development. I had no idea what I needed to learn as a human being to be a good leader, a good team member, a good coach, a good friend, and a good relationship builder. That is what personal development will do for you. I will tell you, I am so grateful to the Herbalife company. What a change of my life personal development has been and meant, and I continue to have that today. I continue to learn from others. And so you're very blessed if you're involved, which you are, with the Herbalife company, because they have tremendous opportunities for personal development inside of it, and I urge each of you to really take that and to go forward with it, because that is a difference maker. That's something that makes things go faster and better. If you're struggling and you can't get your team to come together, I hate to say it, the problem is not the team. The problem is probably you. How do I know this? I've already done it. If I've done it right, guess what? That means I probably did it wrong first. I've done it wrong probably more times than I've done things right. But I learned early on from my grandfather, who told me, never point the finger at someone, accusing them that they have done something wrong, because there are 3 more fingers pointing back at you. So when I think there's a problem with something, before I start saying you, I stop and I think, well, you know what? Maybe it's me. Me. Maybe I need to change. Maybe I need to get better. Maybe I need to do more. Maybe I need to stop doing some things. Maybe I'm my worst enemy, which is me, okay? Be honest. So this is how we grow, is with our intuition, but also with personal development, and also learning, and becoming more. Magnetism. Who do you attract? You know what? I gotta tell you, my team, I'm sorry if you're not in my organization, but my team is the best looking team. My team is the hardest working team. My team is the nicest team. My team is people I totally believe in. Listen, I'm attracting people the way I see everything in my life. My team is a great team, but guess what's also my team? The whole Herbalife team. You might not be in my organization, but if you're in the Herbalife company, you're part of my team. I love you guys. If you want to have people that are dynamic and you want to have people that are just like go-getters, it needs to start with you, because you're going to attract people like you. I'd like to say I attracted people that, I think maybe I attracted people better than me, okay, I think so. But mostly you attract people like you. So if you don't like what you've got going, you need to work on you. You need to work on yourself. Connection. Leaders touch a heart before they ask for a hand. This is what I always loved about Herbalife, is that this is the company with a heart. This is a company that people love each other and they listen. I love hearing people's stories about who they are, what's happened in their life, where they've come from, where they're at, because I love to hear that heart and soul that our company has. Great leaders have one thing in common. They connect with people, and it starts with touching people in the heart. This is a relationship business. I'm going to say it again. It's probably the most important thing you could hear from me today. This is a relationship business. You need to be open, sincere, authentic. Be your real self. Don't try to be someone else. Be you. Live your message. Know who you're speaking to. Don't speak down to people. Don't speak around people. Speak with people. Don't speak to people. Speak with people. This is a relationship business. I'm going to just tell you, if you really want to have the most successful part of your distributorship, you need to have relationships with your distributors, understanding all the things, and your customers. You know, I know this is going to sound crazy, because I've done the Herbalife business for 42 years. I have some customers that have not become distributors that I've had as customers for over 35 years. We've laughed together, we've cried together, we've supported each other. I know everything about their family, their kids, their grandkids. I know when somebody in their family passed away. I know the highs and the lows. It's a relationship. And guess what? I have to be open, and they know all those things about me too. They know that 11 weeks ago, my daughter had a little grandson for me, Luke William Rowe. I love that boy. He's so cute. They know I've got a beautiful little granddaughter who is 4 years old, who I think is just as smart as it gets. Sophie Hazel Rowe. She's a beautiful thing. And they know that Jennifer is my favorite daughter. Well, she's my only daughter. Right? So she has to be my favorite. And they know that she has a twin brother, John, who is here with me. John, stand up and wave for everybody. John, get up. Look, there's people all around here. I love that my son has come with me today to help support me and to support all of you in our business and our company. And, you know, here's the thing. Like I said, people know, they understand. If you are having a relationship business, people know who you are, who's with you. They know your ups, your downs. You know them. That's what matters with it. The inner circle. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. The inner circle. The inner circle, okay? Guess what? A leader's potential is determined by those closest to them. You know, Mark Hughes, when I got started in Herbalife, there was, can you believe there was no president's team? There was nothing like that. There was just, you were a distributor and you had a royalty check and that was it. And then he developed a little more. We had president's team, millionaire team, the GET team. We had the 2, 4, 6. And then Mark was like, you know what? We need to have one more level. We have the Chairman's Club. That was his inner circle. The Chairman's Club, the Founder's Circle. These were the people that Mark felt like he could count on. These are the people that shared the same ideology, the same mindset, the same direction, the same work ethic, the same values, the same integrity. All of us have an inner circle. Every single person here has an inner circle. Who is influencing you right now? Is it people with good attitudes? Is it people, your friends and family that are like all the right direction and stuff? I hate to tell you this, but when I got started, I had some friends who were very jealous of the success that I had with the hard work. They didn't want to do Herbalife. In fact, as a matter of fact, tried to get them to do Herbalife and they said, no, you do it first and we'll see how you're doing. Has anyone heard that? Probably everyone. And then after I had a lot of success, I tried to get them, come on. You know what they said? Nah, you've already had all the success, there's nothing for me. And you know what? They never wanted to do Herbalife, but worse than that, they didn't want me to be successful. And so for me, it was really a difficult and a hard decision, but I had to put them in another category. Could I still be friends? Yes. Could I still be nice? Of course. But could they be in my inner circle? No. No. Now I would tell you a secret about, which I did not tell this in Hanoi, okay? I'll tell you something that's kind of a funny story. Okay, so when I got started in the business, I was so passionate about getting people on the products and helping them to get results and stuff, and I got my mom on, and my mom was my very first customer. My mom is a school teacher, she's my first customer, and after 30 days, my mom had lost about 15, 20 pounds, something like that, and being a school teacher, all the other teachers saw her success, her results, and they wanted me to come to the school and to show them a demonstration of the products, which I did, and I got a lot of customers, okay? And my dad needed to lose weight. My father needed to lose weight. And so I got him going on the products, and I worked with him, and I worked with him, and I worked with him. And I was like, Dad, how's it going? How are you doing? How's it going? Have you had some success? Well, no, I'm still waiting on it. I'm still waiting. I'm like, okay, well, keep going. Keep taking your products every day. Keep taking your shake. Keep taking your shake. Keep taking your tea. Keep taking your aloe every day, every day, every day. And I'm checking with him, and I'm checking with him, and he's not having any results. So I get in the car, and I drive to my parents' house. And I'm waiting for my dad to get off work to come home. And my mother is there. And I'm like, Mom, I can't understand why Dad is not having results like you. She goes, what are you talking about? I said, I've been working with Dad to get all these results on the products, and he is not getting any. I'm so frustrated. Maybe it doesn't work for everyone. And she looked at me and she said, Susan, your dad has never even tried the products. Well, Dad came home from work. I was sitting there waiting. When he saw me, he lost all the color in his face. And I was like, Dad, Don't lie to me about this. This is my future. This is my destiny. This company, and I could have quit because you didn't tell me the truth. And he said, I'm sorry. I said, you should be. That was it. So, sometimes you have to get to the bottom of everything, right? You have to get to the very bottom. Recognize the energy vampires. Dun. You know what a vampire is? It's got the teeth and puts it in your neck. Sucks the blood and you're dead, right? Well, there's also these people that they just can't wait. They can't wait. They can't wait to rain on your parade. You're happy, everything's working, it's good, it's good, it's good. No, I'm so happy, it's working for me, I love this, I love this. Sometimes you just have to say, be gone, get your garlic. Tell the vampire, get out of here. Because you cannot solve everybody's problems. Everybody has got problems. You have problems, I have problems. Some problems can be solved, but guess what? Some problems cannot be solved, and usually this is the people that are unteachable. They can't listen because they don't want to listen. So you can't solve false problems. Don't try, you'll go crazy. You cannot solve false problems. You need to listen to happy voices for encouragement. You know what is so great is all of, on the Herbalife website is all of the Mark Hughes, the Jim Rohn videos and tapes. You can find that all over the internet. Listen to positive, put positive things in your life. Quit listening to anything negative. If you're hearing negative, you're eating negative. And shame on you if you're giving negative. Shame on you. Stop that right now. Just stop that right now. If I find out, I'm going to call you out on it. Shame on y'all. Y'all want to, for sure, never be the cause of spreading negativity. Next, empowerment. Only secure leaders will give their power to other leaders, to other people. There's no limits to success when people are not limited. Empowering people lifts them to higher and new levels of leadership. That's why we always encourage people to go to the next level. Because we know what can happen. We know that guess what? I'm going to give you a very profound statement. There's more room at the top. We've got plenty of room. Come and join us at the top. There's plenty of room for each and every one of you. We want you here. We want you on the president's team. We want you on the chairman's club. And yes, we want you at the founder's circle. There's plenty of room at the top. Hurry up. Reproduction. It takes a leader to raise a leader. Also, reproduction could also be called duplication. We hear about it all the time in Herbalife. Duplication, duplicate, duplicate. You know what? I'll tell you what's been amazingly duplicated here in this country. Your nutrition clubs. Unbelievable duplication. Keep on doing that. Keep duplicating more, duplicating more, duplicating more, duplicating more. And guess what? You're going to keep moving up in the leadership roles. Got a question for you. So you all have parents. Maybe most of you have children. So I've got kids, and they're grown. They're grown kids. My son and daughter are 33. Am I still the parent? Yeah. Let's pretend that they're 50. And would I still be the parent? Yes. And let's pretend they're 65. Would I still be the parent? The answer is yes, okay? As your children, as your team grows up, as your Herbalife team grows up and grows to the next levels, guess what? You're still the parent. Being a parent doesn't change. You're still the parent. Guess what? You still have to have all the good things that come from being a great leader all the time, so you don't get to quit. I'm sorry. The buy-in. People buy into the leader first and then the vision. When people are confident of the leader, then they become confident of that vision. This is an ongoing process. The very first big Herbalife meeting I went to, I drove from Houston to Dallas. It's about 4 hours. And I went to a big meeting room kind of like this with a video screen. And guess who the trainer was? Mark Hughes. And I was like, who's this guy? I don't really know who he is. I don't know anything here. And I sat and I took notes and I listened and I thought, wow, this guy is amazing. He's a real leader. I can follow this guy, and his vision for the future is amazing. So not only did I buy into the vision, but first I had to buy into him. Guess what? All of your team is looking at you right now. No matter if you're a supervisor and you're brand new, or your world team, or get team, or millionaire, or president's team, or whatever team, all of your team is looking at you first before they buy in to the mission and the vision. If they're not buying into it, guess what? You need to look in that mirror. You need to see who is not projecting that leadership quality. Next, victory. Leaders find a way for their team to win. I never cared about me winning, but I always cared about my team winning. I always cared about the littlest person getting started, having great success. For me, that was a big deal, and it still is to this very day. How do leaders do that? They remain teachable and open. They get rid of all the obstacles and the blocks in the road, the stumbling blocks. They realize what the team member needs and make sure that they get it. Okay, the right training, the right kind of, maybe the right flyer, whatever it may be, right? They recognize what the key to victory is going to be, and they retain their personal commitment for that person to succeed. We can all do that. We can all get better, but that is a key. Next, recognizing adversity. Sometimes the problem is not them, it's you. We've already gone over this once. Gosh, I've got it a second time here. Maybe it's important. Maybe I have it on here 2 different ways because it's important. Here's where adversity that you experience comes from. If you're experiencing adversity, it comes from one of 5 places. It can come from your business associates. It can come from your team. It can come from your company employees. It can come from your family. And it can come from your friends. Do you see a pattern here where it can come from? Wait a second. The one thing that all of these things have in common, your business, your team, your company, your family, your friends, well, it's the word you. Maybe, just maybe, the one thing in common with all the adversity experiences is you. You might be the problem. I'm not saying that you are, but you might be. Whether you're the problem or not, you're involved. You're involved. You are part of the adversity going on in your life. You're part of it, whether you want to be or not. It's your job to figure out how to resolve it. Your job is to figure out how to resolve it, and the easiest way to resolve any kind of situation here is your attitude. Attitude attitude is not important. Attitude is everything. Just like the adversity for me with my house burning, I could have the poor me attitude and just say, oh my gosh, my life is so terrible. But I'm not. I have a good attitude because my life is so blessed. I have wonderful family. I have wonderful friends. I have wonderful business. I have a wonderful, wonderful life. Attitude is everything, guys. It's everything. Taming adversity. Life is a continuous succession of both small and large problems. Here's one of the favorite things that Mark Hughes has said that I love. He always has said, the bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. And boy, is he right. He was right, 100%. Every time I had a huge problem in my business and I got through it, my paycheck went up. That's comforting. Listen, I never grew as a person during the good times. Sadly, I only grow as a human being in the difficult times. I don't know why that is, but adversity has taught me how to be a better person. It's taught me how to be a better person. And it's how you look at it, and it can do that for you as well. Allow yourself to forgive. You know what? This is so hard for so many people. It's ridiculous. It's so hard. Leaders forgive and move forward. Everybody makes mistakes, including me, including you. Hello. Who has not made a mistake here in their life? Raise your hand. No one. Everyone makes mistakes. Everybody deserves the chance to change and become better. But for whatever reason, and I don't know what it is, maybe it's pride, maybe it's ego, maybe it's arrogance, but people have a hard time allowing themselves to forgive someone for not being perfect. Look, I've had a lot of people over the last 42 years in Herbalife that have offended me, hurt me, upset me, made me angry, talked maybe not nice about my kids or something. But guess what? My pride, my ego, my arrogance would like to hold me down and never allow myself or allow them to apologize and for me to forgive. But the bigger person allows forgiveness, because if you don't, the only person it hurts is you. Because that other person's going to keep doing whatever they're doing, but it's you continuing to relive whatever in your head. You hear it again and again and again. He said, she said, they said, he did, she did, we didn't, I got angry, they did whatever. You hear it, it's like the movie plays in your mind again and again and again. Let me tell you right now, if you're living that, and we've all lived it, don't look at me and lie, we've all done this. If you're living it right now, let it go and forgive the other person for not being perfect. None of us are perfect. Forgive them for not being perfect and go on and have your best life, because you're not going to be involved in that again and again. Big momentum. Momentum is a leader's best friend. Sometimes the difference between success or not is momentum. I mean, how do you get it? I mean, listen, let's be honest. Here in Vietnam, you have momentum. You have momentum. This country has momentum. Your organizations have momentum. You've got it, but guess what? You've got it. How do you get it? You have to do the basics again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Then when you're tired of it, you do the basics again and again and again. When you're tired of that, you do the basics again and again and again. In other words, you don't change, you do what's right and you do what works and you do it over and over and over. Because momentum does not sustain itself. A good leader sustains momentum, but a great leader advances it. And I know I'm looking at a room full of great leadership right now. I know you guys have everything that it takes to get that momentum that you already have to go to the next level. And I can't wait to see that. Prioritize. Leaders put first things first and focus on the important things. Guess what? We all have a list. I've got a list. If you looked at my phone, you'd see I've got a little thing, and I always have it as in my notes, and it says at the top, it says list. Okay, so I've got a list of things, and I try to prioritize everything and get the right things first, and then the other things after that. But guess what? I never complete the list, so the next day, the things I didn't complete go to the top of the list. Now this is a good habit to have. But I learned a long time ago that if you have a jar, if you have a big jar, and you have big rocks, and you have medium rocks, you have little rocks, and you have some pebbles, okay? How do you get it all in the jar? You never put the easy stuff in first. You put the hard things in first, the big rocks. Once those big rocks are done, those are the big important things on your list. Once you've gotten those done, then you go to the next level of importance, that's the medium rocks, and you take care of those, and and you put them in the jar, and once they're done, then you go to the little rocks, and you do those, because you can do those really fast, and then after that, you do the little tiny gravel, and then your jar is complete. Well, guess what? I have just given you the formula for success. Now let me tell you what everybody does. They look at the list, and they go, oh, I like to do this, 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 this. Guess what they do? Exact opposite. They do all the little tiny stones, the little tiny things first, because it's easy and it doesn't require a lot of effort. Then they do the other ones, they're still easy and whatnot. Guess what they never do? Those big rocks. It can never fit in the jar because they do it backwards. I'm just going to tell you, I've given you the secret formula to success here with work. Get the hard things out of the way first. And then everything else falls into place pretty easy. And when I learned that, what a crazy thing for me to learn. I was like, oh my gosh, I see it. Now when I look at my list, I cannot look at the list without seeing the big rocks. In my head, I look at it, oh, that's a big rock. Ugh, that's a big rock. Yuck, yuck, yuck. But I get those done first, so then I can enjoy everything else. Because sometimes the big rocks are not enjoyable. Next, sacrifice. A leader must give up to go up. There's no success without sacrifice. Leadership always has a cost. Jim Rohn, he always talked about the price and the promise. So when I look at things, I think, okay, this is what it's going to take for me to do to get this. Doing this work, is it worth it? Here's the promise over here. Yes. Or sometimes no. I can tell you, if you're sitting in this room and you're looking at the next team level, there is a price and a promise. To go to the Get team, you need to have 20,000 volume points in your 3 levels that you override. That's a lot of work. That's a price. Getting that many business opportunities, that many customers, all of these things, helping your team, it's a hard job. But the promise is worth the price. Same thing with the millionaire team. Same thing with the president's team. The price and the promise are worth it. And I can tell you, as a Founder Circle member, yes, the price and the promise are worth it, because for me, it's not about so much today where I am, but the people on my team watching the promise of their dreams coming true, for me, is beyond anything that I could talk to you about. I've got to hurry because I've got too many things here and only 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. Timing! Timing, isn't that funny? It's the timing. When it's time, when to lead is as important as what to do and where to go. Right timing makes a good decision a great decision. So in other words, you need to seize the moment. Let me tell you, did I just tell you earlier that you have tremendous momentum going here? Yes. When there's momentum, you better seize the moment and work like crazy. Work harder when timing is great than when it's not. Now is the time to work like crazy. Right now. Otherwise, you just follow the herd. I'm blindly following the herd. Wherever they say, whatever they do, whatever. No. If you follow the herd, you get what? Replaced. Opportunity gets lost. You could lose out on your mission in life, helping other people and helping your community. Now is the time. Now is the time to work like crazy, because you have that momentum. Seize the moment. Multiplying growth. To add growth, you're going to lead followers. But to multiply growth, you're going to lead leaders. As you move up and move through the Herbalife plan, as you continue along the pathway, you're going to have a lot of leaders in your team, and the more leaders you have, the faster you have helping them, the faster you multiply your growth. Not just doing things right, but doing the right things. Not just prioritizing your schedule, but scheduling your priorities. Not just seeking fulfillment, but fulfilling your destiny. Not leading with power, but empowering your leaders. Leaders that develop leaders, they want to have people that come after them, through them, and with them. They focus on the top, and they treat people with respect as individuals. They invest their time. If you're a leader developing leaders, it takes your personal time to invest in other people. They ask for a great commitment from each of these people, and they impact future generations. Recognize and reward. You need to reward the people that have rewarded you. Listen, none of us get anywhere without the help of all the people around us, your team and your friends, and whether they're in your organization or in somebody else's, or maybe it's the people at the company working in the staff that are helping you. People do things for different reasons. Once again, this is a relationship business. I'm saying it again. Oh my God, she's saying it again. When you recognize the achievements of your leaders and your team members, now you're building a great culture. Recognition is not a one-time thing, it's an ongoing commitment. I never stop recognizing people because people are doing great things all the time. There isn't a time they're not doing great things. Make sure that the reward is something that the person really loves. Whether it's recognition verbally, or it's maybe you take them to a nice dinner, you have a nice glass of wine together, whatever it may be. You make sure people feel valued and understand that you value them. That person doesn't just exist, that person is important and you love them. You're thrilled to be with them and to help them and to be having a friendship or relationship with them. And lastly, legacy. A leader's value is measured by succession. More important than leaving inheritance is leaving a legacy. Leaders deposit their legacy in people through instruction, demonstration, experience, assessment. This is your toughest job, but I tell you, it will be your deepest joy. When I look at the people that are on my team, my diamonds, and I see that legacy, I think to myself how amazing it is and how proud I am of them and each of the people in their team and all of you. Think of the legacy you are building and leaving here in Vietnam. It's unbelievable. There will be many people that come after you. Many people. But to be that impactful leader that builds and leaves that legacy, it's hard to even explain. You're all involved in that right now. You know, the time to build the legacy is right now. It's today. While you have something to give and someone to give it to. I can tell you this, for me, it was my joy and my honor and a privilege for me to be here, sitting here, to be here today with you, and to give you a little bit of me. Just a little bit of me, and get a chance to be a part of my life and get in the middle and see some of the crazy stuff that has gone on, the serious stuff. Herbalife Vietnam is a special place. You are a very special group of leaders. And I know that there is no limit to where you can go with hard work, dedication, and working like crazy right now. Guys, I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Please go on the stage for the next special session.